Ladies and gentlemen, we had a game. We had a basketball game. Yes, basketball. I know it's been a while since I even touched on the subject other than controversial means, or at least I think earlier in the season. So, before the pandemic. So, we had, of course, the playoffs in August. We fell upon winning, I think, 4 games. We etched upon, mediocre performances and losing our top 3 superstars. DeAndre Jordan is gone. Kyrie Irving called off. Durant's still injured until further notice. We are stuck with Tyler Johnson, Joe Harris, Timothy LaRue, uh, Jared Allen literally just being our everything on the defense because none of us can defend the paint. Uh, Ruben Quarkus, that I don't think produces anything. He only scored 2 points. And Karis LeVert. That did drop 16. Serviceable ball movement. These guys are pretty much well disciplined, and when you guys have no superstars to move the ball other than Karis LeVert, you guys do whatever you can to swing past. They did well in that. Whenever they can just open up the gap and find a 3-pointer, or at least get somebody to just dish it out into the paint for Jared Allen to just ram it in. It just felt fun at times that it felt like they were just too fast for the Raptors, and that's why I felt like it was such a close game until we see the weaknesses into their playstyle. They have half-assed paint defense, and it doesn't get better unless there's a big guy on Jared Allen. Their ball movement is way better than theirs, and they have better players that can just finish on the paint, like, of course, Fred VanVleet. I think game 1 he dropped 30, and made no difference in how he played from last game into this game. OG Anunoby dropped 6, but showed some good plays off the paint, getting some good foul trouble. Pascal Siakam played well. Fred VanVleet, 24 games. He's not a one-hit wonder from just the finals performance, bro. He's been doing this since before the pandemic. Great all-around shooter, even though he's undersized even for point guard standards. Kyle Lowry finished around the pin as well. Good off corner shots, fast breaks, and off the dagger. Who else dropped 24? Norman Powell. He even had the finishing dagger after inbound gone bad, and just got it in, ending it at 104 and a 99. Contested game later on, even for 3 quarters, the Brooklyn Nets were holding on to at least somewhat under 10-point lead, but they couldn't hold on for long if you have freaking Matt Thomas even finishing on you guys. Rondae Hollis-Jefferson not doing anything except grabbing those open rebounds, and Serge Ibaka just finishing up the post. It was just literally just Siakam, Gasol at top, not that much Gasol, OG Anunoby when they need to block, and it just felt like there was barely any blocks in the game. Lowry and Powell, that's pretty much it. Just no big man to speak of unless there's practically anything from Jared Allen. And it just got so bad the field goal went up to a 38% to an average one on 43.7 from the Raptors. 3 points went as worse as freaking Toronto. This game didn't even go up to overtime. They went 25% from the three. Well, it's 26% if you rash it out. But yeah, they went this lower 3-point percentage. This Eastern Conference, you expect them not to do perimeter game like the Western Conference does because they're more fast paced and they're more chucking it up to go how it is than actual game planning. I'm looking at you, Chicago. It was contested, and they were borderline more permitted on just shooting the ball when someone's actually open than just chugging it up from top of the key to actually see how it works. I'm looking at you, Phoenix. Then I don't think they're still at the playoffs, or they're at the 8th seed or something. But still mediocre even in the foul line. Offensive rebounds obviously was beaten off Brooklyn. Somehow Brooklyn beat him off just 2 rebounds over, and just good assisting. It literally beat him most of the categories, even though they matched in blocks. Turnovers were repugnant in Brooklyn because they can't hold on to the ball that much. They got no ball handlers, and they're just risque at finishing around the paint. Just Fun game if you like up close basketball. Uh, there was not that much foul trouble to speak of. I'm joking. They had 46 combined fouls in the game. I think most of them were personal. With most of the scores coming from Toronto with 46. It was a paint-driven game. They weren't relying a lot on the 3-point things they have combined. Oh my god, they really have bad 3-point shooting on their team. And Toronto has weaker 3-point shooters other than Lowry and Powell. It's sometimes Siakam and Ibaka. I think he was left open and he grazed the rim a bit. And of course, Joe Harris was banging some. He dropped like up to 14 points. Garrett Temple, that's entirely underrated. Timothy LaRue, if you leave him a bit open. Karis LeVert was just finishing off with floaters. And Tyler Johnson, racked, I think 3 in the game. So that's pretty much the report. I thought it'd be nice to finally, switch the mode of just doing pro wrestling and a bit of football to go back to also a sport that I'm really fond of. I love basketball. I just wish it'd be better if we don't always put politics and cram it up everybody asses. Yes, it's rough what happened to many of the African Americans that died of police brutality. But I don't think it's good to just whack that shit in sports because it just gets everybody in this terrible mindset, like how we did with the Kaepernick kneel. And it just gets everybody in a bad mood and it just completely ruins the vibe of, escapism that's supposed to be sports. But that's all my opinion. You guys can take that as you will. But, yeah, really fun game, minus the lack of 3-pointers. I feel like, and I'm just keeping this. It wouldn't surprise me if Brooklyn at least takes one game off of this, how they'll just keep it close, but it has to be off some really bad mistakes. But seeing how Toronto's still defending champions, I don't think they'll last 4 games. That's my go on it. I won't say that they won't be close, because I think they will be close, because the way they play, really smart ball movement, great shooting. They have a well-balanced team that they can do whatever they can. They just don't have many bodies, and they're not well-known defenders. They're not good defenders. Other than they have a good shot blocker. They're just offensive bodies. They won't. They'll show some good highlights, but other than that, Toronto's just going to take the series. That's my take on it. Thanks for watching.